Okay, this should be live now. I was waiting for my grease to get warmed up enough. I actually got it too hot. I had to cool it down, then warm it back up. And this is buttermilk fried chicken. And um, to go over this, you're going to want to start off with chicken legs, chicken thighs, and I got some boneless thighs over here. I'm going to cook real quick. Yeah, that sort of cut of meat. You can do breast, but the legs and the thighs work better. Um, about a half gallon of buttermilk. And if y'all can't hear me, let me know. Or if you can hear me, please comment in the chat and let me know. So I know everything's working okay. And it should be. I hope so. Um, anyways, you take a half gallon of buttermilk and you're going to put, let me see, one of these little bottles of Tabasco habanero, and you're going to put the whole thing in there. Um, you're not going to get the heat off of it. You're going to get a little flavor, and it works out pretty good. Let me type this real quick. Okay, I touched the wrong thing. I just went to type. Okay, let me see. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, cool. All right, so anyways, we've got our half gallon of buttermilk, our little, what is 2 full ounce, so I guess you can get a big one too, but 2 full ounce of habanero Tabasco, and um, you put your chicken in there. I salted them pretty good, and then I put them in the buttermilk, and I put them in the fridge. You want them at least like 4 to 6 hours to kind of marinate in them. If you're gonna cook them for lunch, you want to get started in the morning at like breakfast time. If you're gonna cook them for dinner, maybe brunch or lunchtime, go ahead and get your chicken ready. And it's one of those meals. Let me pull this up. Okay, I got it on my phone too, so hopefully I can see the chat quicker. And once you have that done, your chicken will be ready. But you want to take it out of the fridge and let it kind of warm up a little closer to room temperature because you don't want cold chicken when you're trying to fry it. Any chicken that you put in that grease is going to lower the temperature of the grease. I'll probably check it when I put it in. I may turn the grease up. And we're going to move on to the flour and the batter here. My flour, which is here, is just 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I put a tablespoon of Tony Chacherie's in there. You can use any Cajun seasoning, and if not, you can just up the other things to a tablespoon, and it works. But I put 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper because I added a little to it, and a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of paprika, and a teaspoon of salt. You can taste your flour and add a little bit of salt if you feel that it needs salt. And that's one of them things is kind of to taste. And you can taste your flour just like you taste soup. So once you're ready and you got your chicken a little bit warmer over here, it's not ice cold from the fridge, you'll be ready. You don't want it dripping with the buttermilk. It's kind of a marinade thing. So kind of shake it off or drip it off. And I'm going to put it and my egg over here. And what I did with this is I've got 3 large eggs, and I put like a third of the cup of a cup of the same buttermilk mixture that I marinated them in with the eggs. And I'm going to get this all good and covered. Then I'm going to put it in the flour. Make sure I get this flour all over it. You can also use a sack for this, like one of those plastic bags. And kind of shake it up. And that works too. I'm going to try to keep this from being too long. You can probably cut this in half if you want to. I'm doing this for an example. And this one should take about, sorry for bumping the camera. It should take about 10 to 12 minutes to cook this. The drumsticks will take closer to about 14. And shake this off a little bit. And watch it putting it in here so that you don't get popped with the grease. Grease is kind of known to be that. And I'm going to rinse my hand off real quick. Check my temperature. A little high. There we go. It's going to cool out the grease a little bit. And I'm going to move this out of the way. So I'm just going to cook this one for more or less demonstration. And I'm going to put this. Life with cats in the house. Hello, Vanessa Kitty. Thank you. I did a test stream earlier. Now I'm doing the actual recipe. I put the recipe on the test stream, and I'll have to go back and redo it. Not redo it. Add in the description after this thing's already posted the actual recipe. And just kind of leave it alone there. I'll fill this pot up with, I don't know, probably about 3 inches worth of peanut oil. So yes, I'm using peanut oil. And I'm deep frying it in a cast iron Dutch oven. You can use any pot that you can put grease in, and you can heat up to deep fry your chicken. Okay. That's about right. You don't want your grease too hot, because what will end up happening is you'll have beautiful crust and you'll have raw chicken. So you want to keep it somewhere between about 325 and 350. And after, that's about 10-12 minutes, the inside of this will probably be about 180 degrees, which is about where you want that. You want it around 170, 180 degrees, so you know that your chicken is done. Oh, cool. Vanessa Kitty, you're soaking your beans. I do that too. When I have time. There are sometimes I don't. But if I have time, yes, I definitely soak my beans. And this is being deep fried, so try not to play with it too much. You want that crust to kind of get on there good. You can do it in a chicken fryer too, like a big cast iron skillet. You're gonna have to turn it a little bit more. If you're gonna make gravy, that actually works better because then you don't use as much grease and it ends up just better if you can mix your flour in there and make the gravy. But I'm just doing buttermilk fried chicken at the moment. Yes, chicken tenders from breast meat. Breast meat is really good for that. It's just different cuts of meat are better kind of for different things. And a lot of your soups and stuff, like when I did the chicken paprika and stuff like that, thighs work really good, you know, pieces of leg meat, that sort of thing. And then if you're doing tenders, breast meat is awesome. Yes, exactly, Vanessa Kitty. The other thing is, this is a good way to cook wings. And when your chicken gets done, it'll kind of start to float. See, that's another method of kind of checking it out and that sort of thing. I cook it a lot in a skillet, so I keep wanting to grab the tongs and turn it. I guess force of habit. Get some paper towel. Get that ready. And here is the buttermilk mixture. I put them in the gallon bags just because it's easier in the fridge. We have a small kitchen and a small fridge, and you don't have to use as much buttermilk. You know, you kind of squeeze the air out of the bags and you can stuff them in there where you want them. Uh, I guess the answer to that, M. Gabriel, is yes. You probably could. And you also run the risk of having a bunch of those things explode just like they did. Um, it cooks your chicken very quickly, and it's really good, but even they don't use a pressure cooker to cook their chicken anymore. I do have a pressure cooker. I might use that at some point for a video. It's a nice, pretty Instapot with flowers and stuff all over it. It's actually technically Amy's, but I use it too. They should be done in about 2 or 3 minutes. See, it's already floating. So technically, I would say that's done, but I want it to cook just a second longer. Like maybe a minute or two. But if you're doing wings and they do that, they're pretty much done. And so is this one. I just want the crust to be just a little bit darker. And that's a personal taste sort of thing, just like salt or anything. A lot of my recipes, you'll see I'll put salt to taste because some people like a lot of salt, some people don't like a lot of salt. And Like in my household, I like more salt than Amy does. I like hotter food than she does. So cooking things a little bit to taste. And of course, you know your family who likes what. Um, it just works out better. If I was just cooking for me, that's a whole different story. And now time for the tongs. Oh. Side note there, don't grab the tongs by the wrong end after you grab a piece of chicken. Alright, and if you really want to know if it's done, I used to call this a pulp thermometer because I'm a truck driver, but it's just a thermometer. And I've got a manual one still in my truck in the AC vent to check that. Most of the manual ones don't go in hot enough for grease, so I've got this one. And let me clean this off and I'll stick my chicken with it. I don't know if you can see that, but that is more than well done. Long as it's like 170, 180, it's done. This one is showing about 200 degrees, so it's definitely done. And that is how you cook buttermilk fried chicken. And what I'll usually do at this point, while it's still hot and it's got a little grease on it, is I just put a few, what do you call that? Grinds of salt or whatever you call it on it. I'll see if I can get this up to the picture. And that is buttermilk fried chicken. As it dries, it'll get just a little bit darker. And that's all there is to it. And I've got a bunch more to cook, but I don't think anyone wants to watch the video that long. And having issues with the stores where, I don't know, they put the stuff that you don't want, they fill the shelf with it to take up the space, and finding things in the quantity that you want and the exact thing you want. They have things that are near what you want, but not quite what you want. So I got a little bit too much chicken, and I got to go ahead and cook this. And that's going to take too long. But if you do the drumsticks like that, they're going to take closer to about 14 minutes. The thighs are going to take about 10 minutes. Like I said, when it starts floating, it's pretty much done. I let it stay in there just a little longer so the crust would get just a little bit darker. And that's all there is to it. So let me see if I can pull up a few of these comments, because it's hard to read the computer at the angle that I have it. I'm at that age to where I can't drive without my glasses, but I can't read with my glasses. That's getting interesting. I think I'm fixing to get bifocals. Okay, and Gabriel, it looks like, is the last comment. I think. Oh, that's on live chat, our top chat. Let me go live chat. Oh, Vanessa Kitty, yum is the last comment. Cool. Salt. Any spices and dips for it? Not for this. If I was doing chicken tenders, I'd probably do like, buttermilk ranch, something like that. I'm kind of simple there. But only thing really to go with this, If I'm cooking for everyone, would probably be like mashed potatoes and cornbread and a little gravy, something like that with it. I would do gravy, but I'm using the wrong pot to do that. So I'm probably gonna do a little bit before I leave in the morning, heat it up in a microwave because all this chicken is gonna go on the road with me for the week. And that's my lunch and dinner for the week. So a second pair of progressive. Your first pair in 1967. Okay. Well, at least I'm not like my mom. My mom can't see without her glasses. She can't find, well, until very recently, she could not find her glasses without her glasses. And she got the same surgery my grandfather did 20 years before. And the cataract surgery and something else in the eye, they had to do both at the same time because they couldn't do one and then the other. And now she technically doesn't need glasses. And I've never seen her until recently without glasses. My grandfather, when he had his surgery on his eyes, was like a kid coming home. He was trying to read everything. That was amazing. And if genetics have a role in that, in 20 years, I'll probably be having a similar surgery. But anyways, this is my video, how to make buttermilk fried chicken. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm gonna log off of this thing. I need to come up with a good segue for coming on the air and going off the air. But I really appreciate everyone watching, and hopefully I'll get a little bit better at shooting things live because this is kind of more what I want to do. So thank you so much, and I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast. This was buttermilk fried chicken, and next week I should have another recipe.